What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Isaiah. All right, we got a crazy interview podcast. All right, we got my boy Roy, the closer here. Yes, sir.
Our haters not gonna like us for this one.
Yup.
They really not gonna like us for this one.
Too. So you were born and raised in Dallas, Texas?
Yeah, bro. Born and raised in Dallas, Texas. And I remember you because you were kind of taking off on social media at the same time. I think you were doing social media before even I did. But you were in the Sky House out there in Dallas, no?
No, it was yeah, that was around the corner, but I was in Victory Place.
Victory
Yeah.
Place. Okay, gotcha. No, I remember seeing you out there. But yeah, born and raised in Dallas, Texas. Just moved out here to Florida. I think you're in AZ now.
Yeah, I'm in Scottsdale. You're in Fort Lauderdale, I think, right?
Yep, Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
And then so when you were in Dallas, did you have a high rise too?
I did have a high rise in Dallas. Yeah. My
You
first
like this
apartment.
high rise better or
Dallas is flat, so you know that about it, right? So like you don't really have a view in Dallas. Whenever you look outside, it's just flat grass. There's not really much of a view or a horizon or anything like that. In Florida, I can't have the windows up right now just because it'll be too bright. But ocean view, I can see like nice tall buildings. Like it's so much more aesthetically pleasing and just more peaceful out here.
yeah, at Victory Place. So my neighbor was another apartment, but the stadium. What was the stadium called?
AT&T Stadium.
No, American Airlines. Or
American Airlines. Okay,
yeah.
yeah, my bad. That's in Arlington. Yeah.
So that was like right my neighbor, bro. So when I looked out my balcony, it was just city. It was just like it was stadium. It was a whole bunch of people. Then they had the club right there. They had the Rolex building right there. So
Yep.
honestly, since being out here in Arizona, bro, I actually miss Dallas. Like Dallas is lit. So I'm
Man,
definitely
I've
gonna
never
go
been out
back.
there to AZ. How is it out there though?
AZ is different. It's not flat, it's mountains. It's my first time out here seeing mountains and just the scenery and the architecture is very different and weird, you know. They got like Aztec or whatever Mexican style architecture, but then it's like
Mhm.
filled with white people. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm in Scottsdale, so I'm not like in the
Yeah.
Phoenix area. So it's like
But
mainly
you're
older
you're in
white
like
people.
the real estate like heavy hitter zone, bro. Like that's where the top real estate dudes are at right now.
So Robert Winsley, he's still out here. I think because he's staying out here for another event, chilling with him at the event the other day, and then Nick Perry,
Mhm.
he's in there, and then yeah, his office is like 15 minutes away, and then Andy, he's cool.
Yep. Novation
Um,
King, the GOAT.
yeah, they have way more other people. Then they have I forgot. I've been to a few people, but they have tons of millionaire wholesalers out here, and I've been to like almost all their offices for sure.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, but I wanted to. So you've been on the stage, and recently, I think LeCedric is the one who is hosting it, and then like my friend Malik was there, and a few other people. You were speaking at some events. Let me just go through some stats.
Mhm.
Instagram. You got the Beamer. I see you with the Lambos. And a big thing is too, you're changing a lot of your students' lives. That's a huge thing I noticed, the testimonials that you were just talking about. I mean, I think you said your students this year closed like over 600, 800, or combined.
We close over $752,000 with all our clients combined.
That's insane, bro. That's insane. In this year, or just in combined
That's just
altogether.
this year. This
That's
year alone.
crazy.
So out of our client, we have around 700 different private clients that we work with. I have a pretty big team on the client side. And yeah, the clients have been crushing it this year. And like, I'm gonna be honest with you, that number should be way higher. We just didn't push them enough. But 2026, we're going for 1 million to 2 million in just client deals alone.
That's what's up. And how many clients do you think that is that got that 700
Out of
number?
that 700, I think it's gonna be around 58 clients. 58 clients combined. So these are
Oh
people
yeah.
who are
That's
doing it
awesome.
very consistently, people who had some like, few huge wins at the same time. People closing their first deals. The spectrum is all over the place.
That's awesome, dude. And then you made I think you said on your story or something you made 1.2 million in total in
Yeah.
assignment fees
Yeah.
all
So
time.
yeah, we crossed 1.2 million, a little bit more over that. 1.2 million just sounds better for copywriting and marketing. But yeah, we closed over $1.2 million in assignment fees over the past 5 years I've been in the industry. So I feel like I'm behind, but I'm 23. I'm learning everything. I'm learning the ropes, and hopefully plan to like really scale it past $500,000. My goal is a year with wholesale real estate. There's just a lot to get to that point.
Absolutely. So you said you've been in wholesale real estate for 5 years.
Yeah,
You're 23 right now.
yeah.
And so you've been doing wholesale real estate since you were 18?
Got into it when I was really 19. So 19, coming up on my fifth year. Officially got into it 2020 2021 is when I actually got into it, March of 2021. So I was 19 years old at that time. And yeah, that's how long I've been doing it so far. And just been embracing the journey. Everything's been changing so fast ever since I got into it. I remember when I
Yeah.
first got into it in 2021. I don't know if you remember this, bro. You were able to get a property under contract on Zillow, and then you could just put it in a Facebook group and it'd sell. Like that's how the market was back in 2020, 2021.
Oh yeah.
Now the market's completely different. People are more skeptical. Agents know about wholesaling. Investors are even kind of skeptical on wholesalers. This is a whole bunch of change that's coming to the industry.
No, it's true. That the entire industry has changed very fast in the past couple of years. And yeah, you're right. In 2020, 2021,
Mhm.
like yeah, people were just because there was like no competition, not that many people knew about it, you know.
Yep.
So you said you started March 2021. What did
March
that look like? What made you want to start wholesale real estate and how'd you hear about it?
Man, so I found out about it in December. Is when I really like just heard of it, but I ignored it. So it's December of 2020. I graduated during COVID year, right? So after high school, I didn't go to college. Parents were just like, cool, you can have like a gap year, figure it out. And I was like, cool, I'm gonna figure this thing out. And at the time I did have a savings, but I blew it all because I just didn't know what I was doing. I had did drop shipping at the time. So I had done
Same.
DoorDash,
Crazy.
right? I didn't know ads and all that. So I had to go do DoorDash and Instacart for a while. I did that for about a year, honestly, about half a year. And then heard of wholesale real estate in December. Mind you, I'm looking for all types of plays. I'm trying to do TikTok, YouTube. I'm trying to get back into drop shipping. Stock market was popping
Oh,
back
just to
then.
make
Like
okay, yeah, just to make
right?
money.
So I was just trying to figure it out because I just wanted to make a lot of money, right? My goal, my biggest goal was always I wanted a fast car, right? Grew up watching Fast and Furious, always wanted like a dream car. So I'm just like, how am I gonna get out of this $500 2002 Nissan Pathfinder that shook, had no AC, was terrible, right? Broken window, all that. And how am I gonna get into a new car? So I tried everything. And this was back when AMC and GameStop did like their first split. Like that's when it was like super big back in 2020. Got into it, lost all my money in the stock market. So back to DoorDash. I'm
How
doing
much money
DoorDash.
was that?
Oh, bro, that was like $5,000. Just
But
gone.
it was a lot to you back then.
That was my last 5,000. Like I had to figure out what I was gonna do because my goal was to take this 5,000 and turn it into 10. My goal was just 10K a month. If I could take this 5,000 and turn it into 10K a month, I'm good. I'm set. So we come across a December, or it's December, and I see Kong for the first time. He's screaming at me on the phone. Do you want to make more money, more moolah, whatever? I do wholesale real estate. I see it. I'm like, I don't believe him. Whatever. I'm watching YouTube. I come across Max Maxwell, OG from back in the day,
Son, I
talking
know,
about
son.
wholesale real estate. I don't know. He gave me a weird vibe, so I was like, maybe maybe he was already rich, then he got into it. Ignored it. Cool, whatever. I go on TikTok and then I see some guy bought like some scat pack, some charger. He's like, I do wholesale real estate. I ignore it, but I tell myself, all right, if I see one more person post about wholesale real estate, I'll take it seriously if they have a car, because the car was the only thing I wanted. So now we get into January and I see Jacob Blank. He had just got his IA
Mm,
for the first
yeah.
time. So I
Yep.
saw Jacob Blank got the IA. I think he was 19. And I was just like, all right, I got it. I'm going to do wholesale real estate, but I didn't have any money at the time. So I kind of procrastinated it. January, didn't do anything. February, I'm like, I'm going to lock in. I'm going to take this seriously. So all the way from February, I remember it, February 10th, I started doing wholesale real estate. I did on markets only because I was watching Jerry Norton. That was like my source of information at the time. And all Jerry
Hmm.
did was on market listings. So I'm watching Jerry. He's closing deals on the market. I'm like, all right, cool. I got this. Mind you, everybody sees my channel now. They're like, oh, Roy the closer, he knows how to talk. I didn't know how to do that back then, right? So I'm stuttering. I'm like, hello, hello, hello. I used to have such a bad stutter back in the day. And I was just super nervous for like the first 2 weeks. And then I finally realized, like, all right, these people are never gonna see me. Whatever. So I'm on Zillow and I'm doing Dallas, Texas at the time. And all I'm doing is just looking for distressed properties. I had a
Like you're
whole
driving for dollars?
no. I'm just looking on Zillow. Not even
Oh,
driving
okay.
for dollars. I didn't even know what driving for dollars was. So I'm on
Hmm.
Zillow looking for distressed properties, and I had my routine from I'd wake up at 10 a.m. and then from 10 a.m. all the way to 3 p.m. I'd only make offers. I'm just calling real agents and making offers, seeing what I can get under contract. Then from 5 p.m. to around 2 a.m., that's when I do DoorDash because I still need to bring in money. Didn't have PropStream. I had Flipster back in the day, like the first version of Flipster, if you remember that. This is Jerry Norton's software.
Hmm.
So all I had was that, and I'm just calling and making offers every single day. Like I was just trying to get it. And
Did
then
you track any of that? Did you track how many offers you were making a day?
no, it was just I did it in a notebook, but every single day I was just writing down, okay, this offer, this offer, this offer, like just trying to get something under contract. Finally, I get two contracts at the same time. One was in Dallas, Texas, and one was in Wiley, Texas, where I actually went to high school. And the Dallas, Texas one actually fell through because I just couldn't find a buyer for it. But the Wiley, Texas one was my first ever deal. And the story on that deal was it was in Wiley, Texas. I called the realtor, Zillow listing. It was on the market for 160,000, I believe. So I called the realtor, ran my numbers. Property looked good. I already know the neighborhood. I already know it has good schools, and I get under contract. Now it was a minute ago, so I don't remember the exact prices, but I know how much I walked away with, and how I was able to walk away with that much. The realtor asked for EMD. I had no idea what that was. Go on Google, look up what EMD is, watching YouTube videos. All right, I was like, okay, cool. He needs EMD. Let me figure out how much that is. He says he wants $1,000. Like, okay, cool. He accepted my offer, but I got to put down $1,000. How am I even going to do this? Because at the time I had no money, like $500 in my bank account. So I go to my mom and I'm just like, hey, um, I have an idea. I think it's gonna make a lot of money. I think I have the opportunity to make 20,000. Like I was super ambitious. And I was like, Mom, I need $1,000. And she just looked at me crazy. And I was like, please give me $1,000. I'll give it right back. It's just a deposit. Mind you, I could have 100% just lost that thousand and gotten nothing back if you guys know
Yeah,
how
that's
this money works,
crazy.
right? So I was like, Mom, I need this thousand. She was like, I got you, whatever it is, like whatever, just pay me back. She gives me the $1,000, and then I'm able to get my
Wow.
first property under contract. From there, I had to go see the property. So now I'm nervous. I've never talked to an agent before in my life. I don't know. I'm like this young kid with dreads, and like I was just super nervous. I didn't know how to talk to people. I had braces at the time. Just wasn't a good look for me. Nothing was a good look for me. So I asked my aunt to come with me, and she was actually going to be the buyer, and I'm just going to be with her. Like she's my main investor. I'm just her partner, learning how to get into real estate. She says, "All right, whatever, I'll come with you." She has no idea what she's walking into. She just needs to. She just knows that she's playing as an investor. We go to the property, and I shake his hand. My aunt shakes his hand, and I'm just like, "Yeah, like walk me through the property." We go inside the property, and I'm nervous, so I instantly just like stop talking. My aunt comes in clutch, holds the conversation, and I'm like, "All right, I'm just gonna go get pictures and everything." I go around the property, take pictures. I think the guy's name was Mike or Will, and he was like, "Cool, you guys are all good to go." I was like, "Yeah, can we just have a key here for access just in case we want to bring in our general contractors?" He said yes. The story with the property was it was actually a divorce property. So they were getting a divorce. They had left the property abandoned for a minute because the divorce was just super bad, where they just had to split apart instantly. Left the house. They finally came together to sell the house. So they just wanted to get it off their hands. Like it was so much pain attached to the house. But the house had mold in it. It was broken down, smelled bad, all that. Like it needed a complete renovation. So I get this property under contract. I get access to the property, and the agent just never stops by, never asks me any questions. We're just getting set up for closing. Closing is in 30 days. So now I got to sell the deal and I got to find a buyer. So I'm like, all right, cool. I can figure this out. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's just try some things. I go on Craigslist. That doesn't work. I didn't even know who New Western was at the time. Some guy reaches out to me from New Western. I was like, I don't know who you are. I don't trust you. Whatever. Leave me alone. And then I go on YouTube and Jerry Norton has a video about finding buyers in local Facebook groups. So I'm like, whatever, I'll try that. Go on Facebook, go to Dallas, Texas real estate investors. I posted in like 5 different groups. Everybody's hitting me up. This was the time because we were coming out of COVID. People were sitting on money. People wanted to get into investments. Real estate market was really good. Like everybody was hungry in these Facebook groups. Wholesaling wasn't as big, so it was mainly buyers in these Facebook groups. Now, when you put it on the market or put it in those groups, a bunch of wholesalers are going to hit you up. So I had a
Or
ton of
Indians.
or Indians, like everybody would just hit you up, right? So I had a ton of interest. I had people like every single hour coming to show the property. I was like, I felt like a real estate agent because all I was doing was just showing the property. Eventually, this younger dude who
Wait,
owns
so
some,
where's the real estate agent at this point? Like,
he's gone. He left me with the key. He gave me access to the property and the lockbox. He's like, he lives in Dallas, so he's just waiting for closing. He doesn't know what's
so
going on.
how you put the closing date for 30 days out?
Yep.
Okay. And then did you have an inspection period with this realtor? Or they didn't.
No, I didn't even know what that was. Remember, I
That's
had to put
good.
down EMD.
Yeah.
So
But it
so
was
I
like,
didn't
I
have
don't
no.
care.
Yeah, I was just like, whatever. I didn't know what it was. It's not that I didn't care. Like I was just so
No, I'm saying
uneducated.
the realtor didn't care because you gave them the EMD. So they were like, do
Exactly.
whatever you want.
Exactly. And I could kind of sense it looking back on it now. He was just like done with the property. Like he didn't care. He was just
Mm-hmm.
like, just take the property, get this off my hands. I don't want to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
So people come through and there's like this younger dude who owns a karate center that's literally like down the street out there in Richardson, Texas from me. And he was just like, I want it, I'll buy it. And I was like, wait, what? He was like, yeah, I'll buy it. Like I'm ready to go. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'll go ahead and send you a contract, and then EMD is gonna be 3,000. He's like, cool, where do I send it? I had closed my first deal. I
Wow.
believe it's with Alamo Title, and I had got it under contract. And I was like, "Hey, the buyer, I have a buyer for it." They knew I was wholesaling it. Have a buyer. He's going to send the EMD. EMD. Where does he send it? They're just like, send him these instructions. He'll send it into us. Cool. Um, and I had got it under contract. I remember now. I had got it under contract for $165,000, and I had sold it to him for $170,000.
Now hold on. You found it on the market, right?
Yep.
And then it's still on market while you had the buyer?
I believe so. I don't remember if the agent took it down or not. I couldn't tell you that.
Okay. All
But
right.
I just know that the buyer I had it under contract. That's all.
All
Buyer
right.
comes to the property from Facebook. I had it under contract at 100 and I don't want to mess up my numbers, but I need to go back and find the contract. But I had it under contract for 165,000. I remember I sold it for 170, so I think these numbers all align. I got it under contract for $165,000. I sold it to him for $170,000. Whenever he signed the contract, I was like, I think I can make 10,000 on this. All right, let me see if I can do something. I call the agent and I say, hey, because there was mold in the bathroom and like the top ceiling was really bad.
There you
And I
go.
was just like, hey, my buyers just not my buyers, my hard money lender just came back to me. It's gonna cost a little bit more to fix up the property. They're not sure if they want to lend me or the amount of money just to make the deal work, something like that. And I say, I'm gonna need this contract at $160,000. And the agent was just like, are you sure you can't do that 165? I'm just like, I needed that 160, but I promise you, if I can get this 160, I'll be able to close on the deal. He's like, let me call the sellers. Let me see if I can figure it out. Takes him about a day or two for him to kind of get back to me because he has to talk to 2 parties. He has to talk to the husband and the wife, and they're divorced. He calls me back and he was just like, they accepted your offer at 160. They just want this off your hands, but you actually have to close on this property. I said, not a problem. I already had the buyer. He already put in 3K EMD. We finally fast forward close on my first deal for $10,000 on my first ever deal. That was my first time having $10,000 for just like at one time in my bank account. It's always been split across different bank accounts, or I would get to 10,000 and lose it. But this time it was like one big check for $10,000 to hit my bank account. Mind you, my bank account was at $500 the day before closing, right? So
Oh,
the day
oh.
before closing, my bank account is at $500, and the next day it's at $10,000. I remember we closed March 13th was when I closed my first ever deal, and yeah, that ever since then it was just like I fell in love with the feeling of just getting big checks because. Bro, I've tried everything. Drop shipping is like you get like a 5% profit margin. So like you sell this product for $25, you walk away with $2 profit, right? Stock market is up and down. Social media marketing, SMMA back in the day, when Ty Lopez ran ads. I tried that. Like I tried everything and just nothing worked. But this was the first industry that took my bank account to five figures in such a short amount of time. That was 30 days. If you do the
Yeah.
math, it was 30 days of making $10,000 at 19 years old.
Boy, that's insane. I think that's what attracts a lot of people, and also is like the low barrier to entry and then the fat checks. You have a low barrier to entry and then the fattest check ever. So
Yep.
your actual story is actually really, really similar to exactly mine, bro. Like the
Yep.
only difference is I didn't give them $1,000 EMD, but like, and it wasn't on market, but
Mm.
like everything was the same. Literally, my mom, I didn't have a car, didn't have nothing, son. And then
Yeah.
the deal was in my hometown, which was an hour drive from me. So my mom brought me there. I had to chill with her the whole day for work, and then yeah, bro, same thing. So they
That's
looked at me like,
crazy,
"Can you
bro.
buy a house? Can you? Are you sure?" The only difference with me is though, my mom didn't come in with me.
Mhm.
There's another thing I want to ask you is like, how many contracts did you get signed before you closed it? Was that your first contract?
That was my second contract. I had signed two on the same day. Two got accepted on the same day.
Yeah. So me,
So
I had 9 contracts that fell through before that. So,
nine.
oh yeah. And then so by the time I got to this deal that ended up closing, and when I went
Mhm.
to look in the house, I looked like not credible, right? I looked like a little skater kid, like teen, had a beanie on,
Mhm.
like blah blah blah. But I just had that game from all that failure. Like I knew exactly like I was saying some smart shit. I was like,
Yeah.
how's the foundation or whatever? What age is the roof? And like, okay, that looks, I was pointing out little things. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. So 2 contracts before your first wholesale deal. And that's an awesome
Yeah, and
story, bro.
it's crazy on the contracts getting signed because I got both of the calls um of me like of the realtors accepting the contracts because I put in the offer, then they have to call back while I was doing DoorDash, and I have the recording. I'll try to send it to you so you can put it in the interview. But I have the recording of me getting my first contract and me doing DoorDash. Like I recorded and documented my entire journey from drop or not dropping out, but graduating high school all the way to till now, just on voice memos, recording my entire
Oh,
journey.
wow.
So yeah.
That's insane, dude. I did the same thing. That's insane. I think what we should do, I mean, and what this, interview is for is like to inspire other young people, dude. Like you were 19 when you got started. I
Mhm.
was 25. Well, I was 24. I was
Mhm.
really 25 when I started, but I felt behind. But dude, start and then like document your journey. Just document it because I could use all that shit. Like you see on my Instagram, like I could
Yep.
have all those old ass videos to make a fire music video. You
Yep.
know, working my way to 10 bands and 50 bands and 100 bands.
Yep. Yep. Bro, I saw
Mhm.
the 100K in the vision board, but that was so fire.
Bro, it's crazy. So, do you think that I mean, do you do any of that like visualization or no? You just
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's I tell my clients that's how I got here. Like I don't want people to think that I got in here because I worked hard and all that. Yes, I did do that, but like being spiritually aligned,
bro.
that just expedites the process so much faster. And whenever you're trying to be an entrepreneur without being spiritually aligned, I it's damn near impossible to do it. So like I attribute all of my success to my notebooks when I used to do my affirmations. Every single day, I'd go in my notebook. I closed $10,000. I have the journal of me manifesting that deal before it even came true. I made $10,000. I bought my first dream car. I
It would
moved out
be
of Nigeria.
crazy if you had that notebook because I have mine.
I have mine. It's
Dated.
either back in Dallas in a storage unit or it's in this other room right here. But matter of fact, I can show you the one that that I'm actually, is it right here? I have the one that I'm currently in. I'm gonna show the podcast real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah, let me look at mine.
So we got two right here. I only do. Come on, I'm not gonna lie, Isaiah.
What? Come on, bro. Son, I'm taking
We're
it serious.
no. Bro. I know this is our first time meeting, bro. But just seeing your page, bro, your page, we're so fucking similar. It's crazy. Like we gotta. I can't wait to meet you, bro. But we're so fucking similar. It's crazy. But I only use the composition notebook for my affirmations.
Oh,
That's
really?
the main thing that I use, right? But look. So this is the one that I have right now. I still do this to this day. 2024 for the proof. Hold up. This is, I don't know if it's what.
You gotta like put your hand over behind it like that, I think. Maybe. Yeah, there you go. So credit score is great. Credit score, credit score. Oh yeah. Credit.
All the things
Ooh.
I wanted, right? This is in 2024. So this was last year. We have, I have this all the way from 2019, right?
Wait, what date is that?
This one is 2024. I'm gonna show you the newer one or the one before
I'm
that. That
saying,
was,
do you know exactly what date that was?
oh, yeah, that was April 9th, 2024.
January, February, March, April 9th. This is what I boom.
Oh, damn.
April 9th. I don't even know what it was though, but today is such
No,
an
that's tough.
yeah, bro.
That's
It's
so tough.
affirmations.
This is the one before that. This one is the date that this one starts in. And like I said, I have these from 2019. This is the one I have with me in Florida. This one is 2022. Um,
Bro, what are the odds, bro? Like, I'm trying to find mine from 2023 and I accidentally grabbed four from 2022. Like,
that's crazy, bro.
dude,
What did you want March 14th of 2022? Because I wanted $50,000 this month. I'm improving my business every day. Every day my company gets better. I pull bigger and better lists. I attract buyers. I attract sellers. I call. I close.
you said March 22nd.
March 14th, 2022. Or no, not that. February 14th, 2022.
Oh, February 14th.
Bro, this is crazy looking back at it. In February 21, I said, I get contracts signed every week. I close every deal. Sellers always choose me. Sellers and buyers come to me. I closed a $20,000 deal.
Yeah. So mine was, I guess, during this phase when I was journaling, I was still trying to make it a habit and I was still learning the value of like keeping track of what I did. So this is what I was doing March or February. So it's be,
Been working out for a minute.
you feel me? That's when I was like really trying to change my body around too. But like I was just tracking my pull-ups and then comps, combos, and text. I just always tracked my
That's
conversations.
fire, bro. The point is for the viewer is just like you see it. Like I think all successful people have this. This is 2022. This is 2024 when this one started. But before that, like I said, I've had them since 2019. Being spiritually aligned and understanding affirmations and vision boards. Super big on vision boards. I've had a vision board. I've made over I think 10 vision boards at this point, right? I've had a vision board that's big for me. Every 6 months I usually have one, and I'm making a new one right now. But that vision board, just every single day you look at it, you're training your subconscious mind that this is already mine. I already have this, because the subconscious mind doesn't know what's real and what's not real, right? So whenever you look at a vision board, you're expediting the process of bringing it to you. Now, there's like this fine line of manifestation and religion, right? But I truly think that God put the laws of the universe on earth for us and gave us the power of manifestation. That's our superpower. And
Bro, hold on, hold on.
it,
I try to explain that exact same thing to people, bro, and I've never heard anybody else explain it
uh-huh.
like without me like involved, or like you're the first person, because I say that exact same thing. It's a natural God-given ability. Manifestation
Yep.
is not evil, it's not inherently evil. It's literally our natural God-given ability to attract things and create our own reality. Now,
Yep.
can it get tangled in with other stuff? Sure, but like
Yes.
inherently,
Yep.
it's our power, that it's our ability. The same way we have the ability to build muscles, we could
Yep.
build our mental strength or our manifestation
Yep.
powers.
Yep. Like they don't understand like how powerful it is. So one, if you're watching this, I want to make sure you guys walked away with something that's tactical and you can actually use, right? One, I need you guys to get spiritually aligned on whatever you want. Anything you want, you can have it. If you can think about it, it's already yours. So the ways that I did it was affirmations. Every single day, I'd write in forest. I want this, or I already have this. Not I want or I will. I already have this, or I'm already grateful for it. Second, vision board. You need a vision board instantly. You don't have one of those, get that done. Like Drake has a vision. Drake used to have vision boards. Like Ariana Grande talked about vision boards. Like these huge artists and people that we look up to and A-list celebrities are following these practices. Why do you think that you're too good not to follow it if people more successful than you are doing it? And that's what I had to tell myself. So I was all right, cool. I hear about vision boards. All right, let me go make a vision board. I made a vision board, put a Tesla on there. I put Yeezys on there. I put like StockX photos of Yeezys. I remember, bro, I had X on there because I wanted to go to an X concert at the time, bro.
And yeah,
R.I.P. the
actually,
GOAT.
come on now, the revenge. I forget you're the
Right?
only one, bro.
Ex-
I be flexing the revenge and nobody really gets it. Or maybe
Nobody
a few.
peeps it. I
Yeah.
peeped it, bro. I peeped it. I was like, damn, the revenge is fire. But I wanted to go to like Rolling Loud for the first time, so I put that on the board, bro. I wanted an ATM for some reason because ATMs were popping back then.
Hmm.
I wanted just everything, bro, and I put it on the vision board. For the second, get you a vision board, and then three, meditation. That changed everything from me because when you're doing meditation, you're visualizing. The way I do my meditation is really calming my brain, clearing my thoughts, and then I go into a visualization. So what I'll do is I'll sit down, take a deep breath. I light my incense. I literally was doing a meditation this morning, put my incense in here, take a deep breath, close my eyes, and I'm not going like that's what people think when they think about meditation. It's just like I clear my head and I just visualize what I want. And today's visualization was I have members on my team that I'm going to make successful and I'm going to make them rich. And I visualized my head of operations, her FaceTiming me and showing me her new apartment that she bought in LA. And my sales manager calling me and he's just like, yo, I just moved down to Miami and I'm helping him move in, right? I visualized my director of client success buying her a new car for herself, right? I'm visualizing what I'm doing for my team and how I want my future to look like because I'm aligning myself with the person that I want to become. So like I'm not gonna stay on this too much because I know y'all probably
You're
want to hear
right, bro.
wholesale
You're
game,
right. That's
right?
exactly
But
right.
like these three things, they're not just random actions. What they're doing is they're aligning you with the person that you want to become. So the way I separate it is you have your 3D version and you have your 5D version. And your 5D version is your higher self. And whenever you do manifestation or you look at that vision board or you just visualize in a meditation or in a meditative state, you are getting to meet that person that you've always wanted to become for just a split second. But that split second of meeting that person, you'll start to walk like him, talk like him, move like him, start to think like him, and make decisions like him. Now, that little bit of alignment that you did in the beginning of your day, you carry it with you throughout the entire day. That compound effect of aligning with your higher self every single day, eventually you blink your eyes 6 months. This is what they mean when they say lock in for 6 months. It's not just work hard for 6 months, it's align with that person. In 6 months to a year, you can meet that person that you used to see in your head.
You
And
become
I'm
that
pretty sure
person.
you become that person. So like everything that I have right now, I know you probably get this feeling as well. It's almost like imposter syndrome for a second because you'll take a step back and you'll look around and you're just like, yo, this is wild. Like the old me just wanted this. Like he just wanted a fast car, and I got my fast car. So like now every time I look at the car, I have like an out of body experience or like imposter syndrome. Like, yo, bro, we got the car. Like that's so crazy. Like I'm able to talk to myself from the past. Or now I wanted two phones at the time. Like I don't know why, but I have two phones, or I wanted to live in another state and I did that. And I wanted to make a certain amount, or I have a certain amount in my bank account and I crossed it, right? And I finally did it. And now it's just like, yo, I'm the person that I wanted to become. I can talk now. I have a following now, and this is all he's ever wanted. But sometimes we forget about that, like that
What did it take to become that person?
yeah, like yeah, and like we forget about all that stuff, and because you're just so much in the present, or you're thinking about the future the entire time. You're not in the present. You're thinking about the future. So now this version of myself wants a Ferrari, and he wants to do $10 million a year. And he's trying to figure out how does he get his company to $10 million a year? How do you do that? And like I'm thinking about that person, and eventually by me doing these same three things, and you know this. Once you stop doing the alignments, once you stop doing the vision board, the affirmations, the meditation, give it a month. You're going to start going downhill.
That's exactly right. That's
And
exactly right.
yeah, bro.
One thing that I noticed, I think it was today and yesterday, you just always have these realizations or these epiphanies or whatever as you keep leveling up. But when you're becoming that person, right, and you're visualizing that person, the biggest thing that'll help you to one of the biggest things to visualize or to keep with you throughout the day that'll speed that up is, you said, how do they walk, talk, think, how do they perceive things? How do they perceive things? Because if you, just like in a business, there's like a few levers that you could switch, but like one of the levers is like it takes the least effort to flip it, but it makes the biggest effect, right? You flip this one lever and your profit margins go from 50 to 80, right? So
Yep.
same thing, you could try to walk, talk, and act like this person, but if you flip that switch of how does this person perceive this problem? How does this person
Oh,
perceive today, their life? And if you just start trying to think like how whatever that person thinks like, you'll end up naturally doing and saying the things that that person says. But another thing was that I was always trying to get to become a millionaire is like, how do millionaires perceive things? How do millionaires perceive things?
mm,
So there's like, I'm saying this because yesterday and today I had a realization of another way that millionaires perceive things or multimillionaires perceive things because I just came from a conference. Like I said, it cost $3K to get $3,200 was the cheapest ticket. The rest of them were like 6 grand and 10 grand. So you go in there and like, literally there was only one other wholesaler there and he was like Isaiah Malone's on, but like everybody else there was like multi-millionaire. They had hundreds and hundreds of units or they were builders of like, anyways, big time things. So I'm noticing when I go there, I'm just trying to get as much value as I can as possible, but I'm still who I am. Like I'm not a multimillionaire, but I noticed every time I'd go up to a booth or see what they have to offer, it's kind of like when you call a lead and you ultimately disqualify them because they don't sound motivated. Well, they were ultimately like quickly disqualifying us. You could see it in their eyes because they could tell we don't have 100 units. We don't have 1,000 or 1,000 units or 10,000 units or whatever. Here's what I perceived is like, so I want to build it up though. In the beginning, you're trying to figure out how to perceive opportunities to make money. That's where you start at. Like, how do I make money legally? Because I was used to selling drugs and out of jail, doing illegal shit, stealing shit. So I was like, all right, I could do this. Other people are doing it. Let me perceive. How do they perceive it? So I stopped. I started perceiving things like a millionaire, proper legal millionaire. Stopped doing crime. But then you started, what problem can I solve? So got introduced to wholesale real estate. You see the opportunity there. Then you try to perceive another opportunity like, how can I scale this? Or how can how do the $10,000 or 50 grand a month people perceive things? You perceive it from trying to be the best at sales. Then I had Chandler Saint as my mentor. I perceived it as an operator, right? Once you perceive as an operator, you start running your business as an operation and not just a little side hustle trying to find deals.
yep.
And then so that's the next phase. But then to 10 million or whatever, I noticed that the multimillionaires perceive industries that are about to pop off and
Oh
they
man.
provide a service to the entire industry. You feel me? And so you get to enter the business model at scale. Like getting into the business model, it's already $1 million company,
Yep.
right? So like Robert Winsley, he made Investor Base. He wasn't just trying to find deals. He did wholesale for a minute, but he perceived it, I believe, early on. So he was like, I could provide a service for Dispo,
Yep.
all wholesalers nationwide. And then boom, multi-millionaire. And then there's other people at the events who would we provide a service to people who own 1,000 units and up. We come in and we do pest control, something like that. Or we have a software that we offer for people who have 100 units and up. And this is to manage all their properties and things like that. A bunch of softwares, mainly softwares, which is what I'm trying to get into. But that perception of, you know, a hustler will perceive like, okay, this person has a problem. I could help them. Let me go find it. Boom. And if it's a rich person problem, like us in wholesale real estate, you sell a big house, you get a big wholesale fee.
Yep.
But the big money makers are like, what does this industry need? What
Yep.
does this industry need? Like the AI agents, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the hustlers were trying to get, let me build an AI agent. Let me build an AI agent for people. Let me build an AI agent. The big dogs, let me build a platform that makes it easy for people to build an AI agent and they
So
can build
much
a
different.
company.
And the crazy part is you don't unlock
Bro, you got
these
to unlock it. You got
ideas.
to,
You don't
son.
unlock. Have you ever watched Hunter x Hunter before? You ever watch anime Hunter
I
x
know what
Hunter?
that is, but I
Okay.
haven't watched it for real.
There's this character that has certain eyes, but she could only unlock these eyes at a certain point. She was born with them, but she didn't know how to use them. And then she could start perceiving things different, like you're saying. As you grow on your journey, not only just being on the journey, but educating yourself on the journey, you
Mm-hmm.
can start to unlock those eyes and you can see things that other entrepreneurs cannot see, which gives you a further advantage. So, like, for example, whenever you're saying how do different entrepreneurs at different levels perceive things? Base model entrepreneur sees a business model and they see the business model goes from point A to point B, and then you get paid at point B, right? And they say, okay, I'm going to get into that industry and I'm going to make money from going point A to point B. The business owner says, or the not business owner, the higher level entrepreneur who's got more reps, educated himself more, failed more, made more mistakes. He sees A and B and he says, how can I put myself in the middle? Because water, Luke Belmar says this a lot. Money is like
Mm.
water, and water flows. Water, the currency. There's a water bank, money in the bank, right? How can I put myself in the middle of A and B? So whenever someone else is doing A and B, I automatically get paid. Well, let's think about those people for this industry. PropStream put themselves in the middle.
That's right. That's
Investor
right.
Base put themselves in the middle. Zillow put themselves in the middle. Podio put themselves in the middle. Go High Level put themselves in the middle.
That's right.
Batch Dialer,
That's what I'm
they
telling
put
you.
themselves in the middle. They did not say, I'm not gonna go out and wholesale. I'm gonna place myself in the middle. So whenever people are doing the business, water comes to me no matter what. I don't have to go generate my own water. And
That's
like I
right.
said, now I'm at a point where now I see it, and like SaaS is honestly that's the next wave. That's what everybody in the next 10 years you should probably be looking into that because that's going to make you multiple millions. But yeah, bro, it's like no, you're 100% right, and it's so crazy because like, bro, when we were first starting, we didn't know all this. We didn't even know what software and SaaS was. We didn't know what all this stuff was. We're just like, we're gonna be hustlers. But once you switch that brain from hustler to business owner, and you do that
Mm.
meditation, bro, everything changes. And it goes like on my wholesale journey from 2021 to 2022, I had no employees, zero. Damn near 2023 is when I hired my first employee. I was a hustler. So what happens to a hustler's bank account, and all my hustlers will know this, is your bank account goes up and down and up and down and up and
Yeah.
down, but it never just continues to go up ever. It
Yeah.
just always comes back down.
Yeah.
And what happens is you lack consistency because you burn out. You're the bottleneck to the business. You didn't build systems and operations that can function without you. So you're the bottleneck. So whenever you get tired, the business is gone. Whenever you get sick, the business is gone. You cut your own cash flow because you wanted to own everything. And that's what I was stuck in for 2 years. And I
Mm-hmm.
was just like, okay, let me hire my first employee. And it's just like, you don't want to pay anybody else anything, especially you got to pay somebody who sucks. Why would I pay somebody who's worse than me? That doesn't make sense. I'll do it myself. And then you learn as a business owner, oh, everyone sucks whenever you
Mhm.
hire them. You're never going to hire someone who's better than you unless you pay them a lot of money, right? And you give them a nice salary, but you're always going to have to train people. You're always going to have to, whenever they're having a bad day, they break up with the girlfriend. You got to be a leader. You got to push them up, say, hey, man, it's okay. Even on their bad days, bring them up to push the vision of the company, right? That's what you're doing as a leader. And I just didn't understand that. I was just like, I don't want to pay somebody who's bad at their job. Like, I'm not going to pay someone overseas who doesn't understand English as well as I do to handle my leads. That's dumb to me, right? But then I learned even if they are 40% worse than me, usually a good employee would be like 40 to 60% as good as you, max, right? If I can spend my time doing higher leverage things while they produce, yes, a worse result, I am able to grow the company even more. So now I can take a bigger piece of the pie, right? Instead of, or not, I take a smaller piece, but the piece is bigger than whenever I had it all to myself. So whenever I did wholesale real estate by myself, I couldn't pass $50,000 a month. I just couldn't. It was impossible. Then I started bringing on people, and I was like, "Oh, this is how you do it, right?" And then as I'm building other companies, I'm like, I hired this person, and in the first 2 months, I was negative on this person because they didn't bring the money back. But 3 months after, they brought back $50,000. Oh shit, I need to hire more people and put more butts in seats where I can not have to work in my business anymore. I can just work on my business. And
Mhm.
that's what took my wholesale business to the moon ever since I learned that strategy.
It clicked. Yeah, it
Yeah.
definitely clicked. Yeah, I definitely went through a lot of hiring and firing, and yeah, that is the next level of business. So I went, yeah, after you're a hustler, then you become an operator, then you got to become a manager and a trainer. That's part of
Yep.
the operation, especially if you ever want to, step out of the business and have it run on its own.
Yeah.
But for those at home, I didn't expect the whole thing, this whole video to go this way, but it is what it is. I think this is extremely valuable, especially for my audience, bro, because my audience, I feel like the people that I've attracted over time is just people who were in my situation when I first started out, or like you, or just came from nothing. Not that we came in from dirt poor, but like we didn't have anybody. We had to figure it out on our own.
Yeah.
So first step, yeah, you could get to the $1 million. Anybody who's watching this, you could get to the $1 million,
Yeah.
but you cannot ignore like some fundamentals. If you are a piece of shit right now, or if you're a degenerate right now, or if you're used to like habits that you don't want to do in the future, you first have to change who you are. And that starts with the visualization, the fucking writing things down, meditating, like you said,
Mhm.
um, and just practicing on becoming that person. Then you become a better person. Then we understood how we could make money on our own legally. Then we understood how we could do it better.
Yeah.
Then we understood how to perceive it a little bit differently. Then you could hire somebody. Then you could fire them and you suck, go through that phase of hiring and firing. Then you get better at that. It's like still levels. But here's
Yep.
one thing that honestly is also true is that, you do some based on where you're raised, or no, it's based on who raised you. Based on who raised you, you could skip levels straight up. So my
100%.
manager, or my mentor, Chandler Sane, I'm like, when I first watched him when I was in Houston going all in, he was the first one to make me perceive it as an operator. He's the first person who wasn't just talking about sales all the time and like motivation and the four pillars. He was talking about wholesale as a business, as an operation, and how to get to 100K every month. Yeah,
Yeah.
so Chandler, he was raised not as from a wealthy family, but his dad cut grass. Like his dad had a lawn care business, and so he would help his dad when he was being raised to operate the lawn care business. So when he came into wholesale real estate, I mean, could listen to Chandler saying he's not the best at sales. Yeah, he's definitely not the best at sales,
Yeah.
but he makes 100K a month. He makes like $3 million a year from wholesale real estate. Is because he already perceived things from that level.
Yep.
So if you're coming from nothing, I'm saying this to say, I said that to say this, that if you come from nothing, if you perceive yourself, I mean, just imagine if we could do anything. We could put anything on a vision board and we could get it. And we just have to focus on being that person, right? I got to where I've envisioned, you got to where you're envisioned. Imagine if we had a clear vision or path or perception on 100 million.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's super easy or a clear path to a million, but I mean, Chandler Sain's been doing this for what, 5 years, and he's at multi 3 million. We're not at 3 million a year. So it's like you learn to perceive things early on that are maybe help you skip a level. Perceive
Yeah.
being a business owner first, but
Yeah. And like even for the viewer, it's just like to dumb it down, the business and the owner are not separate. They're one.
that's right.
The business can only grow to the extent of you as the owner. So if you're
Correct.
not doing the things to make your habits better or educate yourself or network with more people, you need to expand you as a person, right? And the best way to expand yourself is going to be learning. So education, skill, network, resources. You need to expand those four buckets. And the more you can expand those four buckets, that's when your business can grow with you. But it's very rare that you'll see someone with this mentality, with these habits, and their business is above them. It
Hmm.
always calibrates no matter what. Somebody can catch a quick pump. Oh, they got rich off crypto, whatever. They're not the person that's up here though. So it always comes back down. Versus the person who works on their habits first, and maybe they don't see the bank account yet. Maybe they're going to the gym every single day for a month, 2 months straight, 6 months straight. They don't have the bank account yet. Eventually, everything calibrates and it will
Yep.
meet you where you are as long as you're educating, networking. To break it simple, it's just like focus on you and building your pillars as a human being, and your business will follow. It's not the other way around. So that's something I always have to remind myself is like whenever I see my business taking a dip or it feels stagnant, I look up and I say, what am I doing wrong? Oh, I'm not praying anymore. I'm not meditating. I'm not going to the gym. I'm not eating right. I'm not networking. I'm not calling loved ones. I'm not doing the things that grow me as a human being so that I can grow, which results in my business being stagnant. The worst part about business is like a shark. And if a shark is stagnant for too long, it dies.
Yep.
That's the same thing with business. There's no such thing as a stagnant business. It's either you're going up or you're dying. So
Yep.
let's keep going.
Faith, fitness, finance, and family, four
Yep.
F's
Yep.
that were huge cornerstones for me. But yeah, those are the four categories of life. Yeah. Going back to when I first started the self-improvement, I was like, okay, what do I improve? What do I want to be? And so I was just, what is the most important things to me? And it was God, making sure that I'm financially free and stable, my family, and then my fitness. But the four F's make it more sexy: faith, fitness, finance.
Yeah, bro. Like
So,
I started just studying rich people, man. Like I just
yeah.
started to see what they did and like I saw that rich people weren't fat. All right, I need to get in the gym. Like you went to that event, how many were overweight and out of shape?
Um, no,
I'm
yeah,
pretty sure
not that
there
many.
might be some. There could
There
be
was some,
some,
but
right?
yeah, no, everybody was
Pretty
actually not
jacked
that
and
old
fit.
either. Everybody was like in the 30s, like maybe mid 40s, but like yeah, and everybody was like in shape for the most part for sure.
Yeah, bro. Like when you start to see that, it's just like, oh, okay, cool. That's what I need to do.
Shit. So I want to talk a little bit about the business just for before we end it. I guess I want to talk about KPIs. I guess what are the KPIs? So for me,
Mhm.
I give my students KPIs. I have basic fundamental KPIs that got me to $20,000 a month just from Zillow starting out,
Mhm.
and it's 20 conversations, 3 offers, 1 contract a week. When you have a new student, I mean, what are the KPIs that you give them, or do you tell them to track their KPIs,
Oh,
or
1000%. It's a non-negotiable. It's a
Mhm.
non-negotiable. If somebody wants to book a call with me, we ask for the KPIs first. Um, like I said, I don't want people to come into my program and not get results. Why do people not get results whenever they join programs? The mentor doesn't do a good enough job of turning them into the person that gets results. They just give them a system and expect that, oh, I'm gonna give this system to a Toyota Corolla. It's meant for an AMG, but I'm going to give it to a Toyota Corolla and hope it's going to perform. It's not how it works. You have to turn them into an entrepreneur first, then you give them the system. So we do a lot of mental training, but to fast forward into KPIs, that's the main thing you need to track in order to grow a wholesale business. If you're not tracking your KPIs, you are trying to run a business that's unpredictable. For the KPIs, for the fastest results, and this is across 700 different clients, we study, we talk to every single client as well to get these KPIs. They originally came from me, and it's funny that my KPIs when I first started versus the study we've done are very similar. but 40 to 50 contacts every single day. What is a
Mm.
contact? A contact is you saying, do you want to sell your property? Yes or no. That is one contact. Not somebody on a voicemail or someone who calls you and hangs up. 40 to 50. Do you want to sell your properties? We always go dialer no matter what. If you do 40 to 50 contacts every single day and you make 50%, or let's say you get leads, right? What you want is 25% leads, 25%, 20 to 25% contact ratio. Hold on, let me word this right correctly. 20 to 25% of your contacts should convert into leads. Sometimes it's lower depending on the market that you're in or your acquisition skills, right? But 20 to 25% of your contacts should result in leads. Out of those leads, you should make 50% an offer. So if I get 100 leads, I need to make a minimum of 50 offers no matter what. If you want to take it to the next level, go 75%. Out of those offers, you usually want around, I'd say 40 to 50% of actual contracts. Doesn't mean they have to close, just actual contracts. On the realistic end, 20 to 25%. It really depends on how you run your wholesale business. We're going like off of a broad, like how people are getting success. 25 to 20 to 25% of the offers that you make should result in contracts. And out of those contracts, I always just say 50%, like 20 to 50% are actually going to go through. Right. So those are the KPIs that I give my clients, but my goal for them every single day, no matter what, things are going to fall through. I need you to make 40 to 50 contacts
Yep.
every single day. And then once you get your leads, I need you to follow up for 2 hours every single day because wholesale is split 60-40. 60% of it is acquisition, 40% is follow up. The money really comes from follow up. It's very rare that you'll close on your deal the first time you talk to somebody, one contract closed. Does it happen? Have we done it?
Oh
Cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it
yeah,
happens.
it's cool. It's nice, right?
It
But my
happens.
my biggest deals is when I called the seller 3 months ago and he said no. And then 3 months later, he's like, all right, I do want to sell my property. Then I made $76,000 on that deal. So
That's right.
that's exactly how the business works. So 60% of your efforts needs to go into generating new leads, 40% is going through your pipeline, going through your CRM, and following up with those old leads as well.
Mhm. So, what do you do to turn them into that entrepreneur, have that entrepreneur mindset? Let's say that they're still driving Uber or DoorDash, and yeah.
Yeah. The first thing is fix your schedule. Like the scheduling is the biggest thing to like just help an entrepreneur. Because whenever you're going from a 9 to 5, it's like someone's giving you a schedule. So whenever that's taken away from you, you kind of like wake up and you don't know what you're supposed to do. You're confused. So the first thing I do is I sit down with them and we create a schedule. What time do you wake up? What time do you go to the gym? What time do you go to bed? I'm sitting down with them and I'm creating a schedule for them to get results. So then after I create that schedule, we're doing the affirmations. We're aligning ourselves with someone, the person that we actually want to be. I tell them to let go of all relationships that take from you. And it's an exercise that I do, which is you have your gainers and you have your takers. And what you're going to do on a piece of paper is take a piece of paper and you put a line just straight down the middle. And on this side, you have gainers. On this side, you have takers. And you're writing down all of your friends, everyone who reaches out to you. On
Mm.
the taker side, you're going into the context on your phone and you're changing their emoji. You're putting emoji on their name to a vampire. They're taking from you, right? Those are
Mm.
vampires that you have in your life. You need to stop
Mm.
talking to those people for 6 months or send them a text that says, hey, for the next 6 months, I can't really rock out with you right now. Like I'm focused on building my business right now. And you're completely cutting those people out of your life. You're only optimizing your life to only have gainers in your life. And it sounds selfish. It is how you become successful, right? You can't have no one, not you can't have everybody on board with you. You're gonna lose a lot of people on the way, especially if you want to take it to the next level. On the gainers, I just put a check mark emoji next to them or like a health emoji next to them. And I say, these are the people that I can talk to. What's the difference? Gainers, they give you advice, they give you courage, they give you motivation. They're like, man, I believe in your dream. Takers, yo, bro, do you want to go out? Yo, bro, do you want to go smoke? yo, bro, do you want to go? Let's go two man, bro. Let's talk to these girls. Like those takers always want to go out and do things and take your time. Or yo, bro, can you lend me $5 real quick? Taker. I don't need any takers in my life. So we fix the relationships in our life next. Then
Mm.
I try to get everybody. I don't know if it's legal, but I try to get everybody in the gym without being a dickhead because people can be sensitive if I say it in a certain way. But I try to get everyone healthy and just taking care of all the pillars: spiritual, health, mental, and that those just pillars help with the last one, which is financial. And that's what we really do. That's basically all. And
Good.
once we like hammer that down into them, they start to change. They start to see things different. They start to perceive things different, like you're saying.
Mm.
And it makes the business so much easier because if you come into the business with not spiritually aligned or any type of mental work, oh man, you're out. You're gone. You're gonna last a week in this business and you're gone.
That's right, bro. That's really good. That's very powerful. Never thought about that. But yeah, having them, yeah, you got to set them up because, like, after, you could do so many calls, but what are they going to do after they get off that call? Do they have reminders, like little subtle reminders like that, like in their contacts? So, they're going to be on the phone.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's very, very
Yeah.
big, very powerful.
It's funny because like we have group calls. I have my group call every Monday. And like the group calls, you would think that we're about to go in here and learn some wholesale real estate success. I'd say 70%, 60 to 70% of my group calls is just all mental work and how to become an entrepreneur. And it helps a lot.
Mm. What would you say are some of the biggest mistakes new wholesalers make, or maybe some of your students make? And how can they avoid them?
The number one thing that I think people, the number one thing that wholesalers mess up is getting married to the deal. And they expect that every single lead that said yes at one point will go through. I actually got fed up with that back in 2022. And I got super annoyed whenever I'd follow up with somebody. I used to have crazy follow up calls, like 2 hour calls. They would never sell their property. And I'd have a whole CRM of just a bunch of people who never wanted to sell their property. So then I started to get annoyed and I say, hey, do you want to sell your property or not? Because if you don't, I don't want to talk to you. Being as blunt, like just do you want to sell your property or not? And that's the mentality I started to go into it with. And what I started to see is my CRM started to slim down. I used to have a very fat CRM. It was a bunch of people who are selling in a year, 3 months, and 6 months. Have a lean CRM. Do you want to sell your property? Why? If they have a valid reason on why they want to sell their property, you can go into my CRM. If you do not have a valid reason on why you want to sell your property, you are not going in my CRM. And I started qualifying the people who go into my CRM rather than just putting a whole bunch of leads in my CRM because it looks good. You're going to waste your time doing that. Because whenever you go do your follow ups at the end of the day, you have this long list of people who don't answer the phone and don't want to sell their property. You're going to be burnt out. Rather, you could have spent that same amount of time on lean leads, working leads who did want to sell their property, and you could have made so much more progress on those follow-ups.
That's right.
So that's the first thing. Keep your CRM lean and qualify people before they go into your CRM. They need to deserve, or they have to deserve the opportunity to go into your CRM. And how do they do that? Having strong motivation. If their motivation is, well, I just thought about selling, I don't care. Why? Well, not really. No reason why you're not going to my CRM. If someone else says it's been sitting for 5 years, I have a lien on it, code violation is coming up. I really want to get rid of this pain in my neck, or the tenants aren't paying rent on time, or I have to pay for debt or a college tuition. Okay, yeah, you can go into my CRM now because now I know that you have motivation. And honestly, that goes to my second point, which is very controversial in the wholesale space, but most have heard time, motivation, condition, price. I think it's the dumbest shit in the world. Um, Motivation is all that matters. That's all. Think about sales. All sales is psychology and seeing how you can get somebody to feel a certain type of emotion in order to take the action that benefits you, right? Now you're not trying to manipulate, which is why you're trying to let go of those leads that aren't really motivated. because we're not here to try to get over on people. We're here to
Yeah.
provide value, right? So if I come across a deal and I cannot provide value, then it's not a deal. And a lot of wholesalers get that wrong. They'll probably send you a deal, be like, "Yo, man, I got this crazy property, completely renovated. Seller has no pain at all, but I think I can make money on it." No, you're not gonna make money on a deal you cannot provide value to. So when
Yeah.
I say that time, motivation, condition, price is all bullshit, is motivation is the only thing that matters, because motivation determines how big your check is. Isaiah, you can think about your biggest wholesale deal. The seller was probably pretty motivated. Like the seller had a lot of pain. And the
Yeah.
bigger the problem you solve, the bigger the check. So I try to tell all wholesalers, stay away from anybody who doesn't have motivation or pain.
Yeah. That is a big thing is and I see a lot of new wholesalers coming across like people who like was saying, well, if I had a wholesaler tell me that they had a seller tell them things that they told you on your first deal, I'd be like, don't deal with them. So the sellers who are they need $2,000, $5,000 EMD, or it's like, no, I'm not signing a contract, or until you do this, I need proof of funds, and you need to talk to my lawyer. It's like all those people, bro. Well, there's a few reasons why they're probably like that. One of them is probably because they've been burnt so many times from other wholesalers. But I'd say, bro, just get past those people. Just go to the people who are fresh and they're not burnt out and they do have motivation, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly like you said, the motivation is the big disqualifier. You know,
Yeah.
the condition is just, I mean, what does the buyer, want to know about the condition really?
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and then
Yeah.
the price could be anywhere at first. I
Yeah.
got 100 grand price reduction.
Yeah.
Like price on man, it really is that motivation.
Yeah.
Um, do you do novations at all?
All the time. Yeah.
Really?
The
You have your
business is
students
going to
do it too?
be, I think it's going to be for us, it's going to be around 50 to 60% novations, then the rest are going to be cash.
Yeah, facts. It's
Especially
like,
because we're more inbound as well. So we're doing PPC,
mhm,
PPC leads. You have to have so many more exit strategies than just cash.
that's true. That's good. PPC. So you put your students on a PPC or
Not too many. There are a few that try it. It's very expensive, and I'm
it
still
is.
better at it. Like I'm not the best at it. But we are producing results with it. So I'm never gonna recommend something that I'm not a master at to my clients. But what we are really good at is hiring VAs and cold calling. Like that's how my entire business came up. Um, Cold calling is one of the strongest methods still to this day, the cheapest to get in with the highest impact. It's like whenever I look at strategies, I'm thinking price, motivation, and volume, because that's all that really matters in wholesale real estate. So, like when it comes to cold calling, you can get on a dialer for $140 and pull a list for $100 or $200, right? So you're all in maybe max $400 on a list in a dialer. Versus PPL, PPC, direct mail,
A lot of
driving
money
for dollars, all that is like,
or in
yeah,
time.
it's like different in time, right? Now let's
Hmm.
talk about volume. Driving for dollars, you're not getting any volume. You can probably pick up 200 or 300 properties if you drive for dollars for 3, 4 hours, right? And then that's even then, bro. Imagine putting 300 leads into a dialer.
Yeah.
You'll go through that in a day, right? PPC, more volume, you just have to spend more money, right? But dialer is like every 5 minutes to 10 minutes, you're on the phone talking to somebody, you're going through leads. I'm talking 40 to 50 contacts every single day. That's volume. So whenever I look at marketing strategies, cold calling beats everybody. Is that what you guys are doing as well?
So yeah, we have a call center out in Egypt. We have about 7 cold callers, and then we're doing Facebook ads, and
Okay.
then the one tried and true skill for me is Zillow, which
Yeah.
is I know I don't at least I think you don't really like Zillow, but I mean
No,
from what you
I
said,
talk shit about it all the time, man. I'm
yeah.
curious, how does Zillow work for you, bro?
So yeah, that's a big thing I wanted to talk about. One of them because I was like, well, why does Zillow suck? I wanted to know like how and why does Zillow suck for you? It's like you said you found your first deal that was actually on market, like on
Yeah.
market. I do like for sale by owner Zillow. So I mean,
Yeah.
what do you not like about Zillow?
Let's talk about it, man. All right. I have so many reasons. And I love your feedback in the debate as somebody who does Zillow. But the first thing, You're dealing with a realtor. Now I know you're doing for sale by owner. I just want to make sure for the people who are doing just straight Zillow with an agent. For sale by owner makes more sense. We'll get into the pros and cons of that in just a second. But first, you're dealing with an agent, and all the agent cares about is money. So the agent likes to represent themselves as the lawyer for the property, which they're really not. They're just in the way. Like if the agent can just move out my way and I can talk to the seller, I'll make so much more money. But I got to deal with this agent who went to school, whatever. Cool. So the agent is like this lawyer who wants the highest amount. Well, the problem is in real estate, the person who pays the most always loses. So they're always going to be trying to put their commission in there to make as much money as possible, no matter what. And that just kind of crushes you as a wholesaler. Number two, competition. I don't like that I can call a lead and somebody else can call that lead 5 minutes after. When you're off market, you don't really have too much competition, especially if you do it in a specific way. You don't have 1,000 people calling the same lead. On Zillow, everybody's calling. And whenever you thought you made a good offer, somebody comes in right behind you and adds 5K to it, and then they took your deal. And remember, you can't go over them because you have to stick to your numbers. And a lot of wholesalers are like, oh, I can sacrifice my numbers and just try to get the deal. Then you don't get the deal sold. Right. So that's two. Three, my buyer can see it. I'm not providing value. I want to grow my business in a way where I provide value, because if I provide more value, I make more money. With a buyer, and if I bring him a deal that's on the market, he's like, bro, I could have done that myself. What are you providing me? I can call the agent and offer the same price you did.
So what about your first deal?
First deal was a different time. It was amazing. It was cool, right? And the first deal, I don't know if you saw it on market or not. It was cool because in 2021, Zillow was popping. Maybe buyers weren't looking on the market as much, right? But I want to say this with a grain of salt, because you can only do that on market with a buyer if you get it at a low enough discount where he's like, damn, that makes sense. For example, if it's on the market for 160 and I get it at 120, cool. I'll buy it from you while it's on the market, right? But at the same time, it's like, I could have done it myself. And then it caps out on it really caps you out on how much you can sell the deal for. So let's say there's a property on the market, and this is the pricing. Let's say a property on the market for $100,000 and you get it under contract for 90. Your max is $100,000. And really, even that's kind of pushing it. Why? Because your buyer is going to look on the market and see that it's on the market for $100,000. So in my experience, my investors are just like, why would I pay you 110 if it's on the market? Why would I pay over the market price? Why would I do that? That just doesn't make sense. I'm not going to do that. I got some more reasons. Another reason is most of my buyers don't like that the price history being on the market. It's kind of like a competitor thing. I can't really speak too much into it because I'm not a flipper, but they don't like the price history being in the market and that
That's true.
Public information.
Mm-hmm.
Now for sale by owner, the only reason I didn't like it is like, you're not dealing with wholesalers, you're dealing with agents and wholesalers trying to compete for the same deal, because most agents, their number one marketing strategy is for sale by owners. Like, if you guys didn't know, wholesalers have way more marketing strategies than a real estate agent. Agents like kind of suck in marketing, right? So all they really have is referrals and for sale by owner, and maybe cold calling if they're like like an agent who actually understands that, or social media. So you're competing with wholesalers and agents. So if I'm a seller and you come to me and you say you're offering $80,000, I don't care about your property. Like, I already got that offer 10 times before you called, and I'm gonna get it 10 times after you call. So it's just like, I'm not loyal to you. Most of the for sale by owners are also very price, like they're strict on their price. So I can't really use my negotiation tactics or my pain against them and all of that, because they're like, yo, I don't need you to build rapport with me. Can you pay my price or not? They're very to the point. Especially you're talking about somebody who went out of their own way to put their property on the market and say, I don't want an agent. Think about the type of person that is, right? I don't want to talk to an agent. I'll do it myself. I'm very headstrong. I don't want to do it with myself or with anybody else. So when you're trying to negotiate with this person, it's like, yo, can you pay the price or not? I got 10 more offers that I can accept. Yes or no? Rather than with my off market guys, it's just like they don't know if they'll get another offer if I go away. So I have like that benefit of like, hey, Mr. Seller, I'm willing to drop the deal. And they're like, no, don't wait. This might be our only chance to sell the property. That's my long list of on markets. Am I wrong in any way? What do you disagree with, agree with?
No, I mean, that's all true. I think everything you said is facts. I mean,
Hmm.
it's just a fact of life. Hmm. Yeah, so competition, you think competition is number one, and then motivation is down, is the main
I
reasons
want
why you,
I want to know why it works for you. Like, what are you
yeah.
doing differently? Because maybe I'm doing something wrong. What do you do differently to make sure on market works?
Yeah. And again, it's just for sale by owner. I stay away from MLS unless it's
Okay.
my innovation.
Yeah.
But the FISBOs, so I mean, I made a video about it. I think I uploaded it today already, but basically, I mean, all those things are true. And I came out of jail, bro, and I don't have anybody around me who's teaching me anything. I don't have any guidance. I don't even have money for a mentor. I don't have money for prop stream, a dialer. It was hard for me to get $400 for a dialer. Then I got to make sure that I pay that the next month. I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
So, so starting with nothing just made me more resilient. I mean, I know I hear people complaining about the competition or the non-disclosure states or the agent or somebody else or the buyer could see it on market. Those are all things that I just worked through and I just created processes to get around them. So some of the main things of why I could go on Zillow right now and I could dominate. Like I do dominate, but I'm saying I could find a deal right now today.
Yeah.
And I just know how to attack it from all of those setbacks or whatever those difficulties. Like I just learned how to go around them and I teach people how to go around them. So number one, the competition thing, that is the biggest thing. How do we defeat the competition? We call them within the hour of like them posting it. I call it so same filter 24 hours or less every day you're scouring it. And so how you would spend, a certain amount of hours making offers, I'd say the efficiency on Zillow is through the roof compared
Yeah.
to cold calling, compared to text blasting. The efficiency is crazy, but only because I know how to do it. But here's some tips for people who are like just starting. You got to be the first person to call them because
Facts.
yes, 100 people will call them. It's a fact. There's no way around it. So those people, the newest deals, those are the ones you go for first. You want to be the like within the hour, preferably like within the first 10 minutes. How are you doing that? You're at your computer for a certain amount of hours of the day, either in the morning or in the midday or in the evening. But you're there for a certain amount of hours and you're being the first person to call them. And when you call them, you have to have a solid sales process. So the 5-step sales process, Barrett Klein, I kind of tweaked it a little bit with a little bit of Jeremy Miner and some other people, but I just stick to my sales process. So if you have a sales process, that's the number one thing. And you know how to see you're rehearsing it. You're being that person. You become good at sales. You become a closer. Now a closer is the first person to call this person. And with that sales process, I'm building the most rapport. I'm like, there's statistics that you just can't get around. You know how you have conversion rates? Well, if I spend like 90% or 100%, probably 100%, I'd say, of the deals that I've closed, I was on the phone with them at some point for at least 30 minutes. And if I gave them an offer, it was on that call, the offer call, 30 minutes. Be the first to talk to them, spend 30 minutes with them on the phone, have a sales process that you stick to and make them remember you. Make them dig on that pain, dig on that, use all the NEPQ, all the sales tactics, whatever, but make sure they remember you and you talk about their motivation.
Yeah.
These people are only going to be the people on Zillow who you're able to do this with are only the people you call first. If you call somebody who's been on Zillow for 30 days or 40 days or 100 days, you're not going to get that. So do that. And make sure that one of the biggest things is you make sure that they write down your information, whether it's in the beginning of the phone call and then you have them write down your offer with your information at the ending of the call. Get them that engaged. Make sure that they have your information. That way, just like how you said, put emoji by that person, emoji by that. Every time they go somewhere, every time they look in their purse, they go, yeah, because they're gonna think about you when they get those 100 calls. People are in wholesalers are going to call them and they're going to blow them up and they're going to say the same questions. They're going to say the same intro and they're going to sound like a salesperson by their by their fifth call. The sales resistance, anybody who asks them, how are you doing today? Sales resistance. What do you want? What do you want from me? So you
Yep.
got to catch them before that happens, give them the best, and then you do have to follow up with them. There's
Yeah.
always going to be people that, oh, I got other offers. I got other offers. The point is to just be good at sales, be good at
Yeah.
sales and be strategic with what you're doing. Have that CRM, right? So I have the KPIs. If you're doing this with Zillow, you want 1 to 3 good leads a day, at least one. That's the minimum. One good lead a day. You're making 3 to 5 offers a day, and every offer call is 30 minutes long minimum. You're going to shoot for it at least. Some of them are 20 minutes, but shoot for 30. And so now your CRM is full of people who have your information written down. They talk to you for at least 30 minutes. You have a real relationship with them, and you know their pain points. And like they obviously want to sell.
Yep.
They took the time out their day to take pictures of their house, upload information, put they're willing to
The
get
motivation is there.
the motivation is through the roof. The
Yep.
key is it's just like any other. So in my belief, it's just like any other lead. I'm sure you get cold call leads who have been talked by thousands of people before
Yeah.
too. And there's the leads where nobody's calling them. But it's so a lead is a lead, in my opinion. A lead is just someone who wants to sell their house like within the next 30 days. So contact them first. Same thing if it was my Facebook ads. If a Facebook ad comes in, you have less than 60 seconds to contact them, send out a text. So that's how I get through it, bro. And then
Oh,
the
let's
follow
go.
up. All right, let me talk about the other thing. Well, the cap on how much you can make.
Mm.
That's true because yeah, if there's a deal that's listed on Zillow for 100 grand and you get it for 90, it's like, what are you doing? No, you can't do that. Very rarely it can happen. You'll maybe make 2 to 3 to 5 grand. I've done it a few times where it was like that. But no, you do have to get it at a steep enough discount. You have to be the first person to call them and you have to build that relationship 30 minutes and you do have to get it at a steep enough discount. And sometimes you're not going to get that on the first call. Most of the time, you're not going to get that on the first call. It comes with follow up. Where's the beauty at? Where's your sweet spots? Where's your leverage at? The leverage is your first. So
Mhm.
you're the first person on their mind. You're the main one on their mind. You got to make sure of that. And also the leverage is the amateurs. The competition is my leverage. It is for me. How am I perceiving it? Perceive it differently. A dumbass is gonna 50 dumbasses are gonna call them and sound retarded and probably not even gonna give them an offer. In 30 days, if they still have not sold it, and it could have been whether because they priced it too high or whatever the case is. I'm Isaiah. Yeah. Yeah. Are you still good? Still good? Yeah. Can you come up to my price? I'm sorry, Mr. Seller. This is what I could do. How soon can you close? It's shit like that. You feel me?
Yeah.
So the competition is my leverage, but that cap, so I get them to take it off Zillow.
No
Not
way.
always, not always,
Yeah.
especially in the beginning when I was doing this, bro.
Mhm.
I didn't care. It was up. If it's up, it's up. Sometimes I would take it down, but I really didn't start getting them to take it down till like 2 years in, like after I got to Dallas. So I just left it up. You get a steep enough discount. I love the Zillow listings that don't have any pictures. You got to find
Mm.
the sweet spots,
Yep.
right? Because if you remember of all the dumbasses that are going to call everything on Zillow, the ones that don't have any pictures, people may not be interested. They scare off. I made a lot of money from the deals on bro. We made 20 grand. No, we made 30 grand from a deal on Zillow and it had no pictures. We just called it. We were the first one to call them. And exactly that. They got blown up over time. Our offer was too low, but then they called us back and then they accepted our offer. Here's another piece of leverage. After they get worn out, especially the people who
Oh,
can't,
after the
they take
market beats them down.
they take it off of Zillow on their own. Now I have a CRM full of off-market leads, and I know they wanted to sell their house. You wouldn't have did all that extra stuff and accepted the phone calls if you didn't want to sell it. So that's
Yeah.
another piece of leverage. It's just for me, it's utilizing what you have. Andrew Tate, like when he dropped Hustlers University, like before Hustlers University was actually a community and like all that, he just had like 3 or 4 courses. And one of them was called 100 Business Lessons, right? Business lesson number 1 is speed. And then business lesson number 2 is a business is only money in, not money out. So a
Yeah.
drug dealer making, $10,000 a month from his drug sale is more of a business owner than somebody who has a brick and mortar store and is losing 50K a month.
Exactly. Yep.
So I was like, all right, I got to use what I got anyway. So
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, coming with
I want
nothing. That's how I use it. Go ahead.
the one thing I will say about on markets is there's only really three ways going into 2026 where you can make money with absolute $0 in your bank account. I think one is going to be on markets. Two, I want to say this with a grain of salt because making money in wholesale with zero, I don't promote it. But if I did, one, on markets. Two, being a dispo guy.
Mm.
I'm seeing a lot of my clients is
Yeah.
like they'll come to me and be like, "Yo, I lost my money. Hey, no problem, bro. I don't want you to give up. Just switch to dispo because if you can find a wholesaler who can't find a buyer and you learn the skill of finding a buyer, now you're in business with no money in. So I think
Hmm.
I say on markets, dispo guy, I'll throw driving for dollars up there as an honorable mention, even though it might cost $300. I would say because you have to. The way I drove for dollars was Deal Machine. I had the top plan of Deal Machine, which was like 200, I believe. And then after that, you got to go to PropStream. I would go to PropStream to organize the leads, and then pull the list on PropStream, not Deal Machine. I don't know why I did it like that, but I did. I would pull it on PropStream, and then I would skip trace it in another area, so you still kind of need money for that. So I can't put it up there, but it's the cheapest where you can still close deals and it's not a monthly cost. But yeah, on markets, Dispo guy. Those no money in your bank account under $50. Do those two, close a deal. Immediately after you close a deal, bro, after you close your first three deals, get off those methods. Go from hustler to business owner.
That's right. And yeah, I completely agree. Once you close like your first deal or two, like you should start investing into building out a marketing channel so that you could start building a machine.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I just love I don't care if it's 2027, 2020, 2030, like what like those skills that I have, like I don't need anything. I just don't need anything. I think anybody else, because at the end of the day, I mean, you said it, it's just numbers. It's just numbers. If you have 100 people who want to sell their house, one of them's going to close.
Yep.
So if you get those numbers, or if you get those leads, or if you get those sellers, or if you make those offers from Zillow, PPL, whatever, all of them work because at the end of the day, you just need someone who wants to sell their house and then get in between them selling it.
Yep.
There, all those ways work. It's just like us talking like direct mail. Like there's conversion rates to it, and there's things that have to happen for direct mail to work. There's things that have to happen for Zillow for sale by owner to work. There's certain things that have to happen for cold calling to work. If each and every one of those things work, and each of them require a certain amount of money, and each of them requires a certain amount of work. I mean, you could do any one you want. Just what is the best for your situation. If Zillow, if you don't have any money and you just have a lot of energy and or time, that's it. There's always going to be competition. In fact, speaking back on what we talked about perception, bro. Yeah, I think who said this? I don't know if it was David Goggins or Alex Hermosi. I think it was Alex Hermosi. But as you're going through something, and you're like, fuck, this is hard. Don't think, man, it sucks to be me or like, woe is me. It's like, no, woe is everybody else because I want this. Andrew Tate said, hardship or difficulty is the barrier from the thing that you want and everybody else who wants it. So every time that like I had those difficulties come up, I'm like, good. I hope everybody else goes through this shit because I'm not giving up.
Yep.
Yeah, and now it pays off. Yeah, I love that skill. I love that having to getting to say that is like I can do it and I can make money with nothing. Next level is can I make $1 million in 60 days with nothing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That I think that just comes with connections and network. Like it really does. Knowing the right people. Let me touch on one more thing before we end this. When you said about hiring, you want to hire somebody who's or whoever is everything you said is true, right? You were like, if I hire an employee, they're going to be 50 to 40%, not as good as me. And that's true. Like you should be the best in your business, especially as a small business owner. You are the business.
Yeah.
However good you are, that's how good your business is. So don't focus on running a good business, focus on being a good business owner. But what I've noticed is like with multimillionaires is they do hire people that are like 200% better than them for a certain task. I know what I'm, I know that what I'm saying is
Yeah.
true
Yeah.
just from a different side.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Robert Wensley, when I was hearing him speak, he was like, I hired coders for that, or I hired this for that. And then Nick Perry was saying the same thing. Look, I suck at operations. I'm not a good operator, so I got that guy over there for that.
Yeah.
But to get again, you have to get to that level. You have to be
That's some big salaries. That's
yeah,
some big salaries,
exactly,
like
exactly,
right.
exactly
So it's
right.
like you gonna hire somebody who's 200% better than you. You're gonna pay them more. You're gonna pay them more than you would yourself if you were in that position. But you got to
Exactly. So you
keep
gotta
that mindset, which isn't a bad thing. Like one of my mentors, online mentors, watch a lot of his YouTube videos, but I first saw him for the first time in an in-person event. His name is Don. I don't know his middle name. He's the owner of Raw Nutrition. He's been blowing up on YouTube recently. But
I know what you're
what
talking
he,
about.
what he said was he's like, we're willing to go break even on a new hire just on their salary for like 2 3 months because we know that they're them as a person as an A player is going to pay off in the next 4 or 5 months. And like once you have that mindset, you're like, oh, okay, okay, cool. Okay, I got it. I understand how to hire now. So I'll go break even bringing this person on. Like their rate might be $8,000 a month, right? All right, I'll pay this person $8,000 a month. I know it's gonna be hard on me for 3 months, but look long term. What will that person bring back to the company? And then it's your job as a leader to actually make sure they bring something back to the company. Because I've paid salaries that are that high and they didn't do shit because I didn't watch them enough. I didn't get
Yeah.
right? So yeah, hiring is. I mean, whenever you said, "Yo, I'm trying to do $1 million in 60 days," I really just think it comes from team, bro. Like all team. Like once you have A players and a dialed system and a team behind you, it's game over from there. And this is correct me if I'm wrong. It's a study that I did last year, so I don't know how it is in 2025. But I know you say you talked to a lot of other top wholesalers. In 2024, I talked to the top wholesalers. And what I saw was in order to get to $100,000 a month, you had to create almost like this bullpen effect. It wasn't virtual acquisition guys. Every single guy I talked to that was over $100,000 a month in wholesale, they had an in office, like a bullpen where their sales guys
Mm.
came to that pen and just were grinding it out. And I think that effect is what gets you to 100,000 a month. Like I see you'll post clips of the house that you're in. You guys are all dialed in, and I see you post the big numbers. I'm like, oh, it makes it that bullpen effect of
Yep.
everybody in one area takes
Yep.
them to the next level. But maybe that's something that I just saw. Maybe it's different like in today. But do you feel like in order to cross over $100,000 a month, you have to have an in-person office? They can't be virtual all the way.
Uh, no, I know that's false, but that's huge. That's why I came
Yeah.
out here to be in
Yeah.
person, to be a better leader, and to have
Yeah.
that in person thing. But no, it's no. A lot of the millionaire friends that I have, the wholesaler friends that I have, like Chandler Sane, for example,
They're all virtual.
virtual, bro. Eric
No,
Klein,
no
though,
in person. Because
no,
Eric Klein, he's the king of the bullpen
yeah.
effect.
So right, so he does it. I have another friend, Mitch. He does 200 grand a month from cold callers. He has in office guys. He has one out of office guy, so has it virtual. John Lolland, like virtual, a lot of the big ones, but all it's 50-50. It's 50-50. You just got to be a good
Yeah.
leader. I'm thinking
Yeah.
about this other dude, huge multi-millionaire down the street. I can't forget his name, but you'd know him if I said his name. But I
Mhm.
was in his office and bro, packed like 40 people, a huge ass office. And they had like a coffee room, break room, lunch room. They had a fucking workout room. They had a gym. Bro, it's sick. Offices are the shit. And I like it because I like to be in person and I like to feed off that energy in person. I
Yeah,
want my
bro.
salespeople to feel that, but you do gotta work to that level.
Yeah.
What would you say is before we end this? I want to say, what do you plan for 2026? Like, what are your biggest goals, like vision for 2026 for yourself and your company, your coaching, wholesale, everything?
I don't know. I'm struggling between how much do I want to share. I'll share some pretty big things. I think doing both sides of the business is very hard. Oh, you see the balloons, whatever I did there. Doing both sides of the business is very hard. I think acquisitions and dispositions is very hard as a CEO. And as I've seen how other companies are ran by just having different friends in SaaS and development and just all across multiple industries, I start to see that wholesale real estate might be the hardest industry there is. I'll be honest with you guys.
I
Like
felt that way too.
if you guys can build a wholesale business, you can build any business. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's pretty hard business, but there's a huge payoff. So in 2026, I think the top wholesalers will lean towards one side of the business and not do both. So when you think of New Western, there's strictly disposition. Yeah, they have acquisition agents, but the acquisition agents are just the whole company is a JV company. Keegley,
Hmm.
which is another big company, is a
Hmm.
disposition company, right? There's also on the other side where you have your acquisition guys who specialize in acquisition. They don't do any dispo. They just pass it off and only do acquisition. They have more volume than the person who jumping back and forth because they can put more bandwidth in the acquisition. And then you have the guys and even on the lead generation side, like Courtney Scott and my
Hmm.
guy Benjamin with Bolt Deals, like they're on the lead generation side and they found like their little area where if I stay in this pocket, I can produce results. I don't have to do the full business model, right? So I think that's going to be the future of wholesale real estate. I think it's really going to start to divide because that's how you're going to be able to scale. So that's what I'm doing. I don't know which side that I want to fully dive in on. Right now, my business is mainly acquisitions. We don't do both at the same time, but I think I want to lean towards more of the dispo side and really build a community where I can dispo for them. Because if I can build my own community and dispo for them, then my marketing costs go down to zero and we're still able to help so many people close their own deals. So I think that's what I want to do. And then I think other than that is like 2026, I'll put it in writing right now. You guys know I'm big on affirmations. I'm gonna hit 1 million subscribers or followers.
I
I
thought you
think
about to
Logan.
say, I was about to say dollars.
No, we're definitely hitting that. That's a non-negotiable. Followers is now what I'm chasing. The money that just comes. The followers and the brand. I think I love what Pace Morby has built in
Hmm.
terms of a community. I
Hmm.
love that. And I think that Pace Morby, he's getting a little old, right? And there's not really many people that to take his place. Um, so I want to build that community, bro. I want to build a huge community and like what Pace is built with people doing deals with each other. Like his community has made so many millionaires. I
Hmm.
want that. Like I want the community. It's past the money. Like we've made the money. 2025, we made a lot of money, right? Now it's like how much impact can I bring to a community? How many millionaires can you say you made? Bro, that's a different feeling. So yeah, 2026 is going to be making a bunch of millionaires, building an amazing community, building one of the biggest brands, and honestly just taking this industry to the next level because it's still low key. People don't know about it. But I want to do what what dropshipping did in 2018. I
Hmm.
want to do that to wholesaling in 2026.
Shit, yeah. Are you work with Malik at all? Malik Vaughn? I know he's big
Yo,
on
that's
the,
my guy.
yeah.
I it's funny, bro. I've known Malik since I was 19 years
Oh,
old.
really?
Like, yeah, bro. I would send him deals all the time. He was the owner of RH Homes. Like I would send him deals all the
Mhm.
time. That's the guy.
That's awesome.
Um,
Yeah,
huh?
so he's doing that dispos, only dispo side. JV has the
Uh,
community.
he's been doing it for a minute, bro.
Yeah.
Malik's the goat, bro. I currently don't do any business with him at the moment, but I want to. We're trying to figure some things out.
Heck yeah, that's awesome, bro. Sweet. If anybody, do you have any questions for me before we go? No?
Um, yeah, bro. I got a question for you. I think my questions are, what was the thing that you changed that made your wholesale business successful and more consistent?
I feel like you know the answer to that. I just had to change myself. That was it. I mean, in a pure sense, the way that I would answer that question is the way I perceive it is it has to be me. It has to be me. It in every way. If I want employees to show up on time, I have to show up on time. If I
Mm,
want my business to get consistent results, I have to give consistent results. I have to put in that consistent input. And if I want killers on my team, then I got to be a killer. If I want my business to be more organized, I got to be more organized.
yep,
And so it's really just focusing on how can I be more organized? How can I be a better killer? How can I wake up on time? How can I be a better follower? I'm not
yeah,
just trying to be just a better leader. I am trying to be a better leader, but do I exhibit the qualities of a good follower that I want, the employees to have or the students to have? So the biggest thing that changed my business is me, changing who I am. And that starts out with the foundation. I have to make sure that, my faith and that my God, is important to me. It's number one to me. Fitness, I got to make sure that I'm on top of that. And it's not just about looking good, it's about building that angular, wait, mid angulate singular cortex. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So Andrew Huberman did a podcast with David Goggins, and Andrew Huberman was telling him about this part in your brain. It's basically, he said, that's where like the willpower to live is. And it's basically like a discipline muscle. Doing things that you don't want to do will grow that muscle.
Mm,
So working out is not just about getting, looking sexy. It's about, can I do the things that I don't want to fucking do
yeah,
at all? You know how
yeah,
hard it is to wake up at 4 a.m. when it's freezing cold, like, and to work out. And you halfway through the workout, you're like, all right, that's enough. But it's like, no, you got to go out here. You got to finish the workout. Learning how to do that on a consistent basis is, it's always been huge for me, bro. That's the biggest change. And every day you got
love
to
that.
recreate that person.
Yeah, I love that. Where are you guys seeing most of your leads come in from? I know you said you're doing a few different things.
So cold calling, we only have three marketing channels: cold calling and Zillow. That was the
Yeah,
only things. But then we just started doing Facebook ads.
yeah,
We don't have results from Facebook ads yet, like any major like outstanding results, because we only did it for 2 months now.
mhm,
And we don't have any internet presence. So we're just building that out.
yeah,
So, but all of our deals, bro, cold calling, and it's just, if anything were to ever happen or whatever, I just go on Zillow. I could go on Zillow right now. I guarantee it. That's
yeah,
where my confidence comes from, because I do it so much, and I'm
yeah,
just like, it's aggravating,
yeah,
especially when you get good at what you do. So it's like sometimes, I'm on Zillow and I'm just lazy,
yeah.
but when I do, I'm like, man, this is so easy. Why don't I do this all the time?
I
Yeah.
love that, bro. We gotta do like a live stream or something where you like you come into my community or we just do a live stream on my YouTube channel and you just show us exactly your genius behind on markets because I just haven't cracked it.
Bro, I'll show you, be like, damn, like I'll do that. I have full confidence in that. Get good at
One
one thing. Anybody who's watching this, get good
one
at
thing.
that's where confidence comes from. Competence.
Yep.
Nobody could test my abilities or my confidence. If anybody's arguing with me, you'll see my tone always stay calm or monotone unless I get passionate. But like, because I just know it
Yeah.
works and I can make it happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, having that
I love that, bro. Now this was an amazing episode, man.
shit. Yeah. In 2026, I plan to just dominate inbound. Right. I'm still gonna
Yeah.
be a good salesperson, but dominate inbound, Facebook, Google, presence, website, all that. So yeah.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to get a hold of you or contact you, how do they do that?
You can follow me on Instagram, Roy the Closer. And I know you guys have sat with us for about an hour, maybe a few hours now. But if you have any questions or you need any advice or you just need somebody to talk to just for a little bit of encouragement, shoot me a DM. I answer all my DMs personally. I'll be there for you. If you want a little bit more education, then go on YouTube. And if you want to work with me one on one, then just yeah, shoot me a DM. I got you, man.
Yeah. If you want to work with Roy and have him help you scale your business, get your first wholesale deal, or just scale your wholesale real estate business, hit him up on Instagram. I'm gonna leave a link to it down here. Yeah, it was cool talking with you, Roy. Is blessing is honor.
Of
Shit,
course,
yeah.
bro. We it's it. I mean, this meeting was long overdue, bro. We were supposed to meet a long time ago. I wish we would have met when we were when I was back in Dallas, but well,
Hey,
I'm
we're
pretty
still
sure.
gonna do it. We still might
Yeah,
make it happen
100%.
because I think we might I might move back to Dallas. I don't know, buy a house out here or whatever. I don't know. But
Yeah.
Dallas, I'm definitely gonna go back eventually.
If you're ever in the Miami, Fort Lauderdale area, hit me up. We'll link up.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll talk about that because I think I'm going there soon, like early next year.
Say less, bro. I appreciate you.